Hey, what's up everyone? Southside Braves here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today for you got our week 1 NFL video. Just to put you in perspective, we're currently 6:52 Central Time on Thursday. The Ravens-Chiefs game starts in, I think 7:15, 7:30, so either half an hour or 45 minutes. And I'm at a friend's house to watch it and do some other things. And so this isn't even my house I'm recording this in, but I really wanted to get this done before the game started. So it'll probably be going on when this actually gets uploaded, but I am recording it before it starts. So let's get through this. If you haven't seen this before, every week I will show you my power rankings. I will do matchups for the upcoming week, and I'll talk about the games the week before. Obviously, this one's going to be a little bit shorter because there aren't any week games from last week to talk about. So yeah, we're just going to go through power rankings and who I think is going to win each game this week. And again, I'm going to kind of speed through this one so I can actually watch the Ravens game when it starts. And root against them, because if you're new, I'm a big-time Steeler fan. So, here we go. Power rankings to start. The bottom 8 teams I have in the league are as follows. Giants I have as the worst team in football. I never predict somebody to go winless, but Giants I'm going to go with 2-15, what I expect them to be. I think they're absolutely terrible, and they did not get better. Malik Neighbors, I'm sorry that you're the one good player on that entire roster. Patriots at 31, and I absolutely love seeing it. I hate the Patriots, and I love seeing them so bad. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise behind me. Panthers at 30. We'll see if they can get any better with Bryce Young this year. I think there are some reasons to be slightly optimistic there that they won't be as incompetent, but they definitely won't be good. But that division is wide open. Vikings at 29, I think they took a huge step backwards this year. No Kirk Cousins, J.J. McCarthy being done for the year. I think it's going to be a tough season for the Vikings, and I think that whole division's gotten better. That's a pretty solid division now, and I think the Vikings are by far the bottom feeder of that division. Chargers at 28, and I've kind of been a Charger fan over the last few years. I'm a big Herbert guy. I really love Justin Herbert. But look at their skill position players there for the Chargers. They got rid of all of them. Keenan Allen gone. Mike Williams gone. Austin Eckler gone. Like, their skill position players, I kind of like Josh Palmer, but Palmer is not a number one. And they got Ladd McConkey there to back him up, but I hate what I see at the skill position player spots for the Chargers. Commanders at 27. We'll see what Jaden Daniels does there, but overall a fairly unexciting team. For me, a little bit of a boring team. Broncos at 26. I don't know if I believe in Bo Nix. They've been talking good about him in the preseason and all that. We'll see what they are. First year, I'm not overhyping the Broncos. Cardinals at 25. I think a lot of people have forgotten how good Kyler Murray was last time he was healthy. So we'll see what they can do. But I still don't think that's a great team out there in Arizona. So moving on, the middle of the league towards the back half. So, like, yeah, these are the best of the worst, basically. Raiders at 24. Minshew Mania is there in Las Vegas. I love Gardner Minshew. I've called him the best backup quarterback in the league because that is still what he should be, as a backup. But he is the starter there for the Raiders, and I hope they do well. I do like Minshew. Devontae Adams deserves better. We'll see exactly what they can do. Chiefs at 20, or I mean not the Chiefs at 23, the Saints at 23. And honestly, this might be a little high for them. I still like Derek Carr, but I expected a lot more out of him last year, and it wasn't there. There's already people calling for Spencer Rattler to take over there. So I don't expect a good season from the Chiefs there at 23. Kind of the opposite for the Titans for me. I don't expect much from them either, but their quarterback is something I did not believe in much, but I liked what I saw from him last year. The kid out of Kentucky, I thought he showed a lot of toughness in some of their games. That win they had against the Dolphins in the comeback was absolutely awesome. So we'll see if he improves, but the Titans, I don't think, have a dynamic roster. Colts at 21. We'll see what Anthony Richardson does coming off injury this year. If he's good, they can be good. If he's not good, they won't be good. It's kind of a lot lies on Anthony Richardson's shoulders, which a lot of teams have said about their quarterback, but I think it's definitely true in Indy. Atlanta at 20, and they could definitely climb in these rankings. I actually like Atlanta to win that division. I like Kirk Cousins quite a bit. We'll see what they can do. They're going to start off the season with a loss, having to play the Steelers. So that's going to be a rough start right there. But I do like the Falcons, and that's one team I could see climbing in these ranks from where I'm having them start. Much like the team ahead of them, the Bears. The Bears' potential is sky high. My mom is a Bears fan, so I talk a lot about the Bears with her. And I told her, pure potential and talent, the Bears could have a top 10 roster in the league. But I can't put them there until they show me it. I think they have arguably the best wide receiver core in football. Caleb Williams, while people are blowing him up from his preseason quite a bit, I don't know if he had that great a preseason, but that one drive he had was phenomenal. That throw on the run that everyone saw from 45 yards out or whatever, and then that touchdown run, that drive, if that's the Caleb Williams they get all year, they will be a top 10 team. But we'll see. Seahawks at 18, again, kind of just... Seahawks might be, in my opinion, the definition of an average football team this year. They're right there in the middle. They're going to kind of go about their business. I think they'll kind of be in a lot of games. We'll see what they do. But I don't fear the Seahawks, but I also don't just say, oh, they're no good. Like, I think they're the definition of an average football team this year. Buccaneers at 17, quite average as well. Baker got the contract now. And I think Baker was solid last year. And I think he can be solid again. And I think I have them ranked as the highest team in that division going into the season, above the Falcons, who I do think will win the division. But I think you got to give the Buccaneers their props and have them as the highest team in the division to start the year, which I do. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, the upper of the middle, the better of the middle of the league. Jaguars at 16. I think, is it weird for me to say I think the Jaguars are going to follow the same trajectory they did last year? I think they're going to climb a little bit early in the season in my rankings because I think they'll show up good in that. But they collapsed late in the season. And I don't know how you can have the Jaguars much higher than 16 after watching how their season ended. Like, there's talent there, yes, but the Jaguars were disappointing last year. I think Trevor Lawrence has kind of been disappointing his whole career so far. So he needs to take a step forward. And if he does, the Jaguars could be dynamic. But we'll see. Packers at 15, a team that made a jump late last year too, and I'm not sure I buy yet. I need a little bit more evidence from the Packers before I firmly believe they are one of the better teams in the league. So I have them at 15. Rams at 14, a little bit healthier this year than last year. We'll see what they can do. They have the two-headed monster at wide receiver now, apparently, with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams, I need to carry my fantasy team, so I hope he has a good year in the backfield. And yeah, I like the Rams. We'll see what they do. Jets at 13. This is probably the highest I have a team ranked based off potential, because I think their defense is arguably the best defense in football. Their defense can be awesome. What do you get out of the 40-year-old quarterback Aaron Rodgers? Like the old man Rodgers, what do you get? So we'll see. Potentially they could be a very, very, very strong team. But again, a bunch of what ifs there. 10, 11, 12, I kind of just clumped together. I'm going to be honest with you. The AFC North is the best division in football. I don't want to hear arguments about that. All of them had winning records last year. The Bengals missed out on the playoffs due to tiebreaker, and the other three were in. So I think it's by far the best division in football. I think the Ravens are definitely, unbiasedly, the best team in that division. And I think the other three are all very good. And I don't really know where to put them. So I just put them 10, 11, 12. You can pick the order however you want. I put the Steelers at 12, Browns at 11, Bengals at 12. I think a lot of people overrate the Bengals. I don't think they've really shown us much since that Super Bowl they were in. And I know the excuses, oh, Burrow's been hurt. But how many times can the guy get hurt? And even when he wasn't hurt at the beginning of last year, they started off super slow. Like, it's been a while since we've seen this great Bengals team. So I'm going to need to see it. But again, 10, 11, 12, all good teams in the AFC North. Like I said, order them how you want. Steelers, I'm going to talk a little bit more about them because they are my team. We won 10 games last year, and we had abysmal quarterback play. Whatever you think of Russell Wilson, who's currently going to be the week one starter, but did have hamstring issues today, so it might actually go back to Fields. We'll see. But whichever one of them plays, they're miles ahead of what Kenny Pickett was last year. So I don't know how you can't say the Steelers are better. We upgraded at quarterback. We drafted offensive lineman. We upgraded there. We added Patrick Queen. We upgraded at linebacker. So linebacker, quarterback, and offensive line are all improved. The one position group that got worse was wide receiver because we lost Deontay Johnson. But that is a net upgrade. The one downside of the Steelers this year compared to last is our schedule is the toughest schedule I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, look at the last 8 weeks of the season for the Steelers, and you will see Browns. I think it's Browns, Bengals twice, Ravens twice. I think it's 5 divisional games. I forget which one is only one, but 2 of them twice, 1 of them once. Eagles, Chiefs, and I can't remember who the other one is. But the last 8 weeks is brutal. So that's the one argument of the Steelers being lower. But what exactly is power rankings? Is how I think they're going to finish or how good I think they are. And I think the Steelers are improved. So I'm a little bit biased, but I do have them in the top 10 at number 10. Bills at 9. I think the Bills have gotten quite a bit worse this year. I think the Bills might fall on this list. A lot of people think I might have them too low to start, but I think they're going to go. They're headed down on this list, not up. I've just lost a lot of faith in the Bills. I can't put them much lower than 9 to start because they do still have Josh Allen, but I do not expect a ton from the Bills this year. I'll even go as far to say as I expect the Bills to miss the playoffs and finish 3rd in that division. Patriots suck. They'll beat the Patriots. But I think the Dolphins and Jets will finish above the Bills, and the Bills will miss the playoffs. So, now, moving on top 8, the best in the league here. We got the Cowboys at 8, which I hate putting them there, and honestly, probably a little too high. Doing this list, I thought a lot more negative towards teams than positive. I'm like, there's so many teams in the league with flaws. Like, none of these teams are great. So, well, I don't want to say none. So far, I don't think I've gotten to a great team yet. So when I get to the point where I would classify them as a great team, I'll let you know. But the Cowboys have flaws. I think their run game is going to be terrible. I think it's going to be a lot on Dak and CeeDee Lamb. I think both of them are good. I think they can handle that. And their defense has star power there. We'll see how good they are as a unit, but they do have the star power. So I have the Cowboys at 8, but I don't feel great about it. Another team Texas team I don't feel great about. I have the Texans at 7. A lot of young, good pieces there. They added Stephon Diggs. They added Joe Mixon. They could be really good. But again, putting a team there that quickly after 1 year when they were supposed to not be very good, and that we'll see. I might be jumping the gun a little bit on the Texans, but I do have them at 7. Eagles at 6. I think the Eagles are a team that a lot of people are hopping off the bandwagon after last year. I think the Eagles are still a very, very good team. They have lost some pieces, but I still like the Eagles. 5, 6, Dolphins, Eagles, I think, are the closest to great teams without being great. I think there's a gap between 7 and 6, and I think there's a gap between 5 and 4. But if I were to classify teams, the top 4 here, I'll just say it. The Niners, Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, I put as the S-tier teams. Those are your top teams, and those are your great teams. The Eagles and Dolphins would be the 2 A teams. I would say those are the next group. So I have them at 5, 6. And then, like I said, Lions 4, Ravens 3, Chiefs 2, Niners 1. I think those are your 4 great NFL teams right now. If it was just right now, let's do the conference championship games. It'd be Niners, Lions, Chiefs, Ravens. And I think those are your best 4. Obviously, the season never goes that way. So I'm excited to see how the season goes. And yes, I don't have the Chiefs at 1. I think roster and talent-wise, I think they're the worst of those 4 teams. But back-to-back Super Bowl champs, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift even. I can't not put them there. They probably deserve to be 1, but I at least slid them down to 2. Those are, I think, the top 4 teams in the league, and I think there's a pretty good gap between 4 and 5. I think those are clearly your best 4 teams. And yeah, those are my power rankings. Let me know what you think I got right, what I got wrong, who should be higher, who should be lower. I love hearing your guys' opinions about those power rankings. Now let's move on to the week 1 matchups. So, first off, let's scroll on down here. We got Ravens at Chiefs Thursday night, which again, I think starting in about 10 minutes. I'm telling you right now, I'm picking the Chiefs at home. Not only because I'm a Steeler fan, it's tough for me to pick the Ravens, but Chiefs lost week 1 last year to the Lions. I don't think they're going to lose back-to-back NFL openers, and Taylor Swift's in the house. Kelsey's probably going to go for 300 every time Taylor Swift's there. So I just think I trust the Chiefs to win this game more than I trust the Ravens to be ready to play. I think it should be a good opener. It's two great teams. Should be a good game, but I'm taking the Chiefs to win at home. All right, next up, we have Packers at Eagles in Brazil on Friday. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Somewhere I might be going to in a few months to play some Pokemon. But yeah, Packers, Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles to win this. It's kind of the same thing. I trust them more than I trust the Packers. Even though after last year, it's hard to have trust in the Eagles. They had a lot of poor showings. But the Packers just seem more inconsistent to me, and they put it together late. But it was for a stretch. It wasn't for a season. And that I think both these teams will have good years, but I'm taking the Eagles to win this one in Brazil. All right. Next up, Steelers, Falcons. And if you haven't seen one of these videos before, rule is right away, Steelers are getting the win. I'm always going to pick the Steelers. And then I'll justify it from there. This one's two. I guess week one, there's a lot of unknown teams, but I think these are two unknown teams. Both teams with new quarterbacks. Steelers got rid of the whole quarterback room. Heck, Falcons might have done the same for all I know. I know Ritter's gone. I know they brought in Kirk Cousins. But yeah, Kirk Cousins is their guy now. Personally, I would agree with people who say Kirk Cousins. I have more faith in Kirk Cousins than I do Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. And I would agree with that. But Steelers win football games. That's what we do. We're going to win this game. TJ Watt will probably have a strip sack late to win the game, as we do. Minka might have a pick. The defense will come up big. And the offense will do enough to pick up the week one win. All right. After that, we got Cardinals at Bills. And I know I just kind of talked bad about the Bills. I think they're one of the declining teams in the NFL right now. But they're at home. They're against a Cardinal team that we haven't seen be good in a while. Like I said, I think they will be improved this year. I think a healthy Kyler, who I think's healthy. I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard a ton about the Cardinals this offseason. But having Kyler back should be good for them. I would not be stunned if the Cardinals won this game, in all honesty. I think the Cardinals can go in there and win this, but I'm taking the Bills at home to beat the Cardinals. Next up, we got Titans at Bears. And this isn't just for my mom, but the Bears will win this one at home. Caleb Williams will have a solid debut. I don't think he's going to go crazy, but I think he will have a B-graded debut. I think it's like, he was pretty good. He wasn't great, but he was pretty good. And I don't think it takes a ton to beat the Titans right now. And I'm excited. It's kind of disgusting to say. I'm excited to see this Bears team. The receivers they have, DeAndre Swift in the backfield now, Caleb Williams. The defense has gotten better last year or so. They traded away all those defense players, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Khalil Mack, the other pass rusher whose name's escaping me at the moment. And they got some young guys. That Jalen Johnson, the corner's fantastic, as we know. Defense is getting better. Offense has a lot of star power. I'm excited to see this Bears team, and I think they're going to pick up a week one win. Next up, we have Patriots at Bengals. As a Steeler fan, this is a disgusting matchup. And we're just going to get through this as quickly as possible. Bengals can be a good team. Patriots cannot. The Patriots are just not good. So Bengals win this game, and we're going to move on because, again, this is disgusting to look at. All right, next we have Texans at Colts. And I wanted to make a last-second change and switch to the Colts, but I do think the Texans are the better football team. I don't fully buy Anthony Richardson yet, especially coming off injury. He has potential, but I don't know if I buy him as a head-to-head competitor with C.J. Stroud. I also think people are crowding C.J. Stroud a little too quickly, putting him in like top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and that we need to chill out a little bit there. But I do think CJ Stroud's a better quarterback. I think the Texans are a better team. I think they've gone more all in this year. I think they've tried to do more in the offseason to become even better. So I am taking the Texans on the road to win this one. But divisional games, they're tough. Crazy things can happen. So we'll see. Next up, we have Jaguars at Dolphins. And this is another one I've gone back and forth on. I'm taking the Dolphins to win at home, but another one I don't feel confident on. Two teams that I called for a lot last year, the Dolphins, the Cowboys of the AFC, where if they played a good team, they lost. If they played a bad team, they won. Jaguars are not classified as a bad team. If I had picked, Jaguars are a good team. So if I went with that theory, Jaguars would win this. But I do think the Dolphins will buck that trend a little bit this year. They have the new number one player in the NFL, according to the players, Tyreek Hill, which is crazy. That's not Mahomes. But players said Tyreek Hill. Let's see what he does in week 1 to beat the Jaguars. Next up, we have Panthers at Saints. Who the heck did I pick to win this one? Yeah. So I don't think either of these teams are any good. I think Saints have a better chance of being okay. And I think they're at home. That's why I picked the Saints. But this is a divisional game between two bad teams. Flip a coin if you wanted to, but I'm taking the Saints. I'm not going to talk much more about this game when there's so many good games in the week. We're not going to dwell on the bad ones. Speaking of bad games, your worst game of the week goes to Vikings at Giants. Man, this one. If you could watch one game this week and this is the one you watch, I feel bad for you. And I'm taking the Vikings because I do actually think, I firmly believe, Sam Darnold will be better this year for the Vikings. No J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold's going to be the starter. And I think he's going to have a solid year. Almost Baker Mayfield from last year, where he's pretty good and might get a contract for it. But I don't think he's going to be lighting up the league or anything like that. I think he'll be solid. And I don't know if Daniel Jones will be. Again, I called Malik Neighbors the one good player on the Giants' whole roster. So we'll see. But I'm taking the Vikings to win this one. In the not game of the week. Man, I talked about having good games this week. Here's another one I think's not good. I'm taking the Chargers at home just because they have the quarterback I trust more in not J.J. McCarthy, and Justin Herbert. Even though I love Gardner Minshew, and I'm kind of rooting for the Raiders in this one in Gardner Minshew, but I really like Herbert too. Man, these are two of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I'm going to be honest with you, but only one of them do I think is actually a star. But I'm taking the Chargers at home. But again, I don't think either of these teams are going to be very good this year. Chargers have the new coach. They have Herbert. That's kind of it. And they got some star power on defense, but how consistent that defense plays, we'll see. I don't think it's a great defense. But, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Let's get back to the good games. Who we got coming up next? Broncos at Seahawks. I called the Seahawks the epitome of average earlier. And the Broncos are not great. I don't think they're going to be any better than last year. They got rid of Russ because they all hated him, but I don't think their team's in a better spot. And they're paying for our quarterback now, so that's cool. Seahawks win. They're at home. Seahawks home field advantage is a big deal. So, yep. All right, let's keep going. We got a few more, and then I'm going to end this quickly after that to go watch the game. Next, we have Cowboys at Browns. A actually good game, even though that's weird to say. Cowboys at Browns is a good football game. There's rumors that CeeDee Lamb might not play in this after getting the contract, that he might not be football ready. He's on the exempt list or whatever right now. So I expect him to play. But I will take the Browns and that defense winning at home. This one's a good game, though. After a few bad ones in a row, this one will be a fun one to watch. But I'll take Myles Garrett and that defense to win this one. Even though TJ Watt's the better defense player and should have won Defense Player of the Year. Myles Garrett is not Defense Player of the Year. TJ Watt deserved it. I don't care what TJ or what Minka... rewind that. I don't care what Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons has to say about it. TJ Watt should have won Defense Player of the Year. Next up, we got Commanders at Buccaneers. Again, sorry, I'm going to kind of speed through these last ones. I want to go see the start of this game. Buccaneers win at home. Again, two kind of irrelevant teams. Jaden Daniels, of all the rookie quarterbacks, probably the one I know the least of what to expect. He could be really good, I think, or he could be a bit of a bust. We'll see. I'm excited to see him play. I think he'll be fun to watch. But I trust Baker Mayfield more at this current moment, and I'll take the Bucs to win this at home. He has more weapons than Jaden Daniels does. Jaden Daniels has Scary Terry, and that's about it, because they got rid of Dotson. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't fully remember where Dotson went, but I know they got rid of Jahan Dotson. So I'll take the Buccaneers here to win this one. All right, next up, maybe my favorite game of the week. It'll be a good one. I don't know if it's the best game of the week, but it's my favorite. Goff versus Stafford, Rams versus Lions after they shipped Goff off and he's become a franchise quarterback for the Lions now. This should be really, really fun. I'm going to take the Lions and Goff to win this. It's a better story. It's more of a revenge for Goff. And the Lions are the better football team. Like, the Lions are one of the great teams in the league, as I called them. So I'm taking the Lions at home to beat the Rams. But again, for my fantasy league, I have Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua. So I hope this is an absolute shootout and that. So, but Lions pulled out at home, and I believe that's the Sunday Night Football game. So, and the last game of the week here to round it out, what could be a very good one. Jets at Niners. One of these teams I know is great. They have a fantastic roster. They kept Brandon Ayuk from us, even though he should have got traded to the Steelers. And one team that has the potential to be a great team, but they have an old quarterback that's been breaking down last year, and a lot of young pieces that have the talent, and we'll see where they go. Oh, I didn't mark it yet. I'm taking the team I know is good to win. But if the Jets come in, win this one in San Francisco week 1, that will be a statement win for them, that they are for real with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see. Those are my picks. Let me know what you think of my picks, which ones you disagree with, which ones you agree, what you think I said that's just entirely wrong. I want to hear your guys' opinions about the NFL season. I'm super excited for it. I'm going to try to do even more with these videos in future weeks. Hopefully I can throw some highlights in there from games that happened that I got to see, but we'll see if I can pull that off. But all that being said, that's going to be it for this week 1 video. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe to the channel and the video. Would really appreciate it. Trying to get to 100 subscribers, getting closer and closer. And yeah, let me know if you want anything else added to these videos. And yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and go watch the NFL kickoff. So I hope you all have a good day and a good night, and I'll catch you in a future video. Bye, guys.